Alright, we're back on Modern Warfare for some reason. Trying to get Damascus, working on the MK2 carbine, almost at the Battle Pass 100. Fuck it. So today I want to talk about my school and what school life was like for me, because I fucking hated school so much. Basically, my school was shit. Really awful. I hated it. I hated being there. I just hated all of it. Um, in the last sort of year, it was I kind of just didn't give a shit really. The last sort of year or so, I never turned up. I was always late. I didn't care if they didn't punish me, so I was like, fuck it, I might just be late. But oh well. We are already losing. Brilliant. But fuck it. Yeah, school was not a good time for me. Basically, I had an old YouTube channel. I won't say the name because I hate everything about it. Basically, I made an old YouTube channel that was kind of really cringy, and so respectively, I got made fun of a lot for it. But yeah, that's just. My school was one of those schools where if one person did something, everybody fucking knew about it. I remember my first year in school, there was a fight in the playground area or whatever the fuck it was called back then. I won't say who it was. I don't actually remember who it was. I'm just gonna call them both David because that's a neutral name that I can use. So there was two Davids, right? And they were like the hard guys at the school. They got in a lot of fights and took a lot of drugs and yeah. So basically, they got in a fight, and yeah, it was really, really intense. I remember, Adam was wearing a white shirt basically. And by the end of it, it was not white at all. I remember the head teacher had to come out and actually stop them before it got too fucking serious. So basically, Adam and David were fighting. I didn't see why it started. All I remember seeing is, well, I came over at the time to see what was happening. All I remember seeing is David land a big fucking bang right to Adam's like nose, going back and just covering his entire front in blood. So that was class. There wasn't actually a lot of fights in my school. There was a few really stupid things that got banned, like what was it? Chewing gum was banned apparently, and what else? Chewing gum was banned, and I think some energy drinks were banned. You know, like Red Bull and all that shit. There's another stupid thing of we weren't allowed to take drinks into the school itself. We had to drink them outside so that the janitor didn't have to like clean it up, I guess, which is fair enough. But I found it pretty stupid. If I bought something from the canteen, I want to eat it in the warmth of the school. So even if it was winter outside, if you bought something from the canteen, you had to eat it outside in the cold. I just thought that was fucking ridiculous. What else? Remember my head teacher? He was alright. He was alright until he wasn't really. I remember on my last like year, I was just a complete asshole. I don't know how I didn't get kicked out sooner. But basically, I was always late, and so I always like slept in. And the head teacher came up to me one day and was like, "Why are you late?" I was like, "Well, I slept in. Like I'm a heavy sleeper. I sleep a lot." I was like, "I slept." I probably can't tell with the fucking bags under my eyes, but oh well. So I slept in a lot, and he comes up to me and he's like, "Why are you late?" I was like, "Oh, I slept in. Sorry, I guess." I was like, "I don't know. I slept in. Whatever." He's like, well, it's not good enough. We expected better of you. And I was like, okay, think I don't care either way. At least I fucking turned up, you know? Just be grateful I'm here. And he's like, oh, well, it's not good enough, you know? Like, you should invest in a clock or an alarm of some sort. So I was like, okay, yeah, you know what? I'll look into that. So the next day I was late again because I slept in again. And he comes up to me again and he's like, why are you late? This is getting ridiculous now. Like, why are you late today? So I turn around, I look him dead in the eyes and goes, would you believe me that I slept through my alarm? And he just walks away and I'm stood there like, you can't make me go. My own mother couldn't make me turn up to school on time. What makes you think you standing there is gonna make me fucking turn up on time? Maths, my maths teacher would always get annoyed at me. Well, no, not really. He would just kind of give up trying with me. Fair enough, I didn't really want to do the work, and most of the time I would actually just sleep in his class. I fell asleep in class at one point, like head on the desk sleeping. But I goes to him, hey, I don't understand this, and he turns around and goes, how can you not understand it? It's easy. I'm like, you really gonna get mad at me for not understanding shit? That's what I never understood when, like, parents and teachers and shit. When parents and teachers and shit would just, like, get annoyed at you for not understanding something. Like, what are you gonna do? Yell it into my brain? Like, gonna yell at me to make me understand? No. Like, if I don't know it, I don't care. Like, you think I give a shit? No. I'm literally only in this class because I'm being made to be in this class. I could not give a shit whether I know this or not. So I took music in school, right? And I was learning drums. Because I'm a percussionist, so I learned the drums, I did the xylophone at higher level music. Which is like the second highest level, I think it goes like Nat 4, Nat 5, higher, advanced higher. So I was doing higher drums and higher xylophone / piano, and so I had drum lessons during English class, right? Obviously, because you had to leave one class to go to your fucking drum lesson, and I says to the teacher, you know, the teacher was fine with it. The teacher didn't give a shit. She understood, you know, you have other classes and shit you need to do for my exams and that. And I says to her, I was like, hey, I need to leave. I have a drum lesson. She's like, yeah, okay, on you go. Have fun. So I left, went for my drum lesson, right? And by the time my drum lesson was done, there was like 10 minutes left of class or something. So I goes to my teacher, my drum teacher. I was like, okay, so my drum lesson ended. That was all fine and good, whatever. And I noticed the time, and I was like, oh, there's only 10 minutes left of class. I'm going to go to the toilet, because I really needed the toilet. So I went to the toilet, right? And I was like, oh, now there's only like 5 minutes left before lunch. There's no point of me going back to class. So I kind of hung around the coat pegs for a bit, and then I hung around the coat pegs for a bit, waiting for, you know, lunch. And where the coat pegs was right next to the maths department, so the maths classes. And obviously one of the maths teachers, like, saw me just hanging around or whatever and decided to come out. And she goes to me, she comes up and she says, why are you here? I was like, oh, I had a drum lesson, and I was at the toilet. Now I'm just sorting my stuff out. And she's like, okay, but why aren't you in class? I'm just stood there like, did I not just tell you that I had a drum lesson? And she's like, yes, but why aren't you in class? I was like, I had a drum lesson, and I needed the bathroom. So, that's why I'm here. I was in the bathroom and now I'm not. It's like, okay, get back to your class. I was like, okay, whatever. So I took a few steps down the corridor and went up the stairs. And basically the stairs that I pretended to go up took you straight to the English department, which is where I was supposed to be. But I didn't go. And so I looped back around. I went up a couple of stairs and then back down, back into the bathroom. And I thought nothing of it for the rest of the day. And then, what happened after that? Oh, yeah, I remember what happened. So basically, after English I had music, right? And I was there, I was in music, and the music teacher comes up to me, and she goes, Lewis, I need to speak to you, can you come with me into the staff room for a minute? And I was like, oh, okay, it's probably nothing, just talking about exams or something. So he goes with her into the room, and she sits me down, and she goes, we need to talk about what happened with your drum lesson. And I'm sat there like, okay, what are you on about? And she goes to me, I was told by numerous teachers that you did not return to class after your lesson. And so I explained to her, I was like, oh, well, when my drum lesson finished, I went to the bathroom, and then there was no point of me going back to class, because by the time I got there, I would have had to leave. So I didn't. And she turned around to me and goes, that's not good enough. You're making me look bad, you're making yourself look bad, you're making, like, I feel bad enough as it is asking other teachers to let you out of their class to come to my class. And I'm just sat there like, okay, but how is this my problem? Like, I don't care if you feel bad or not. And I was like, okay, you know what? I felt bad about it because I was making her feel bad. So I goes to her, I was like, okay, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, And that was the end of it for me. Like, it was over for me at that point. But no, at lunchtime we were allowed to go up the street and go to Tesco, because Tesco was right next to the school. So I went to Tesco and got my food and came back. I was with a mate, and the head of the English department comes up to me and goes, can I speak to you for a minute? And I was like, oh god, here we go. So I goes over, and she turns to me and goes, are you struggling with English? And I was like, no, I'm doing fine in English, why? And she turns to me and goes, oh, so what's all this about you not going back to your class? Do you not like English or something? And I explained it to her. I said to her, I was like, look, I had my drum lesson, I went to the bathroom. So I explained to her, I was like, okay, I was in the bathroom, and then I had my drum lesson, and then I went to the bathroom. And there was like 10 minutes left of class. And she goes, oh, well, I wouldn't have bothered going back either. So I'm sitting there like, so what is the big fucking deal? Like, I had like 3 people in my face screaming about not going back for 10 minutes, and then the head of the department says, oh, I wouldn't have bothered either. Like, okay then. And at that point I was so mad that I was ready to quit school that day. I goes up to my counsellor teacher and says, yo, I want out of here. I'm done. I just want gone. I'm finished. And you know what she said to me? She said, we can't let you leave. You can't let me leave. Like, okay, like, you're gonna restrain me from leaving or some shit? No, let me leave. God damn it. So that's my story.